Hello, race fans. Welcome back to Off the Track Podcast, where you get the dirt. I'm Levi Gotzi, and we're here at Blue Chip Technologies Racing Engines. We're located right here in Heltonville, Indiana. We are a high-performance race engine shop, and today we have joining us on the show, Steve Hawkins.
Hey.
How we doing, Steve?
Doing pretty good.
Well, good. We're glad you were able to take time out of the tow business to get down here and visit with us today.
Well, thank you. It was a little time consuming, but
right. Yeah, it's a little bit of a drive.
Right.
Not too bad. You guys stay pretty busy up there in Bloomington.
Oh yeah, I'm always down for a nice scenic view though.
Yeah.
To drive, you know.
Did you come down 446?
Yep, sure did.
Well, there you go. Yeah, it's always a good sight this time of year. You can really see a lot of lake anyways while you're driving across the causeway. So we want to get you down here and kind of give the fans a little bit of an idea of how you got your start in racing and kind of who the man behind the wheel is.
Okay. Yeah.
So, I'm trying to remember back. I know you ran karts at an early age. I believe you and I actually raced against each other at Bloomington Fairgrounds a few times when we were pretty young.
Like 6 or 7, I think,
we were pretty young.
Yeah.
So you ran karts for several years?
Raced go-karts from, I don't know, like 6 or 7 or something like that till I was like 12.
Yeah.
And then kind of just the local track scene just kind of went like non-existent. It just really wasn't any tracks around anymore.
Right.
So I got into motocross because there was more motocross tracks around.
Yeah.
And then I ran motocross for like 10 years, broke all my bones in my body pretty much in 10 years. And took a little breather and decided to get back into circle tracking.
Right.
But
growing up around your old man racing, he drove for many years, right?
Yeah, my dad raced when I was around it. He didn't race as much when I was running go-karts, but when I kind of got out of ventured away from go-karts, he got more into dirt tracking, so I liked helping him on the car and stuff, but I wasn't big enough to steer or nothing, so
right.
It's kind of in that little zone there where I'm old enough, but I'm not big enough to go to another class.
Right. So when you moved back into the circle track stuff, what was your first division jumping into?
Just super stocks. That's the only thing I've been in so far.
You pretty well just stayed right there, right?
Yeah.
Well, you must enjoy them.
Yeah, I like them.
You've been doing it for how many years now?
9 or 10 years.
9 or 10?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I wasn't 100% sure, but, I knew you were doing it for sure when we got back into them in 2014. We started running the Super Stocks. And, that was the first year I ever ran the Super Stocks.
Yeah.
And we did that for a few years. So I knew me and you were definitely, throwing some, sliders on each other up at Bloomington Speedway and over at Paragon. And
I seen your name on the lineup sheet, and I was like, this is just like old time's sake right here.
Yeah, I'll never forget you coming down to the trailer. We was at Paragon that night, and of course, we hadn't seen each other for years. We was just little kids, like you said. And we got to kind of catching up on old times, and I thought to myself then how, crazy it was that we were both there, back in it again, just in something else, So, we've kind of asked a lot of guys what's their favorite division, but with you staying in the Super Stocks, I mean, that clearly must be your favorite because you've not wanted to move anywhere. So,
yeah.
Have you ever thought about going into something else, or?
Yeah, I don't know. I kind of went into Super Stocks. I didn't really want to stay stagnant in the class, but with our work schedule and everything, it's just worked out better in the Super Stocks.
Yeah.
I really wish that there would be like a series or something. That would be nice where like the old Boss series and stuff like that they had.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that would be nice because then I could just run a series and I'd still kind of, have the light at the end of the tunnel and something, But,
right.
because it's hard to run points.
Yeah.
So I never know what every weekend's going to be.
Exactly. Yeah, with your work schedule, it's tough to, you just pretty well get the car ready and hope you can go. And then if it works out and you guys are there, or we'll watch you guys come pulling in late, you and Hillman, showing up, they're already out there hot lapping.
That was a trait that I kind of caught off of Hillman and just kind of rolled with it.
Just stuck with it. Well, if it works, it works, right?
Yep.
So, what made you choose 84,
That was just the year I was born in.
Yeah.
So
well, there you go.
Keep it simple.
I was wondering.
Yeah. Okay. Back in the go-kart days, it was S10.
Yeah.
Because it was like, I don't know what the meaning of that was, but
right. You was young. Yeah. It didn't matter.
Yeah.
You just want to go fast.
I just want to go fast, turn circles.
Right.
But yeah, I don't know. I'd like to get up into modifieds or something that has a series. That's really my big thing. I kind of just I would love to run a series.
Mm-hmm. Well, the modifieds are, it's a good division. Of course, competition's nuts, and you can pretty well go anywhere, any given Friday or Saturday night. And if a guy wants to get out and travel and go out and hit some big shows, they're out there. And that's one thing with the super stocks. You don't see too many real high-paying races, but
yeah, I like it.
There's also, the money spent to move up to the division of the modifieds. I mean, we all know that they are a little bit pricier.
Oh, yeah.
And being open wheel, you're going to take those nights where things get bent up a little easier. And
oh, no, that never happens in racing.
Yeah, right. Everything comes back the way it left the shop, right?
Yep.
So what was the first track you ever actually raced on as far as in a big car?
That, I would say Bloomington. I'm pretty sure I started out Bloomington. I ran the first year, whole year in points and everything at Bloomington. And then the next year was Paragon. I just kind of stayed at those two tracks for a few years after that. So I ran Putnamville, a little bit of Brownstown. Fun fact, I've never made a feature at Brownstown.
Yeah, we had that conversation just last week on the phone.
It's a monkey on my back.
that place can be a challenge. It's tough.
It is. A lot of good drivers down there. I don't know. I've always had something break or it's just not been on my side.
Right. Well, I can relate to that, and I'm sure a lot of drivers can. Everybody pretty well knows Brownstown can be, you go and you think you got everything tuned in just right, and you probably going to pack up and go home and not even make the show. It happens to pretty much anyone that races there. There are guys that make it look easy sometimes, but
you never want to show up to a track and then leave your car in the pits and then go watch the racing up in the grandstands.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's not what you set out to do that morning when you wake up.
Nope.
So what would you have to say, all the tracks you've ran as far as over the years, 9 or 10 years now in the super stocks, is your favorite racetrack to run on?
Probably by far would be Bloomington.
Yeah.
So I just like I like the high banks, hammer down.
Yep.
I love a hammer down track.
Yeah. Well, that's a good question. So I was actually thinking about that the other evening. Guys either hammer down track, or black and slick. You got so many guys that say they want it black and slick, and then you got the hammer down guys. It's kind of nice to see what each guy's opinion is on that. I like hammer down. I like black and slick. As long as it's not rough and choppy and you're breaking axles and that's
smooth hammer down track.
Right, there you go. And those can be hard to find.
Yes, very hard.
So Bloomington Speedway's getting their act together, it sounds like, for this upcoming season. They got their schedule out. Looks like they got quite a few shows on for 2020.
Yeah.
What's your guys' plans there? Are you guys going to focus running Bloomington for points, or are you going to stay away from points? Or
well, that is an interesting question because I set out this year to not run points. I was just going to travel around, have fun
Right.
at the tracks I can race at.
Mm-hmm.
But I'll probably end up running points at Bloomington just because it's literally, if I had a good throwing arm, I could throw
You
a
could
rock
just about
from it.
land it right in the infield.
Yeah,
Right.
and hit my shop. So I don't know. I'd like to run there every Friday night, and then Saturday night I'm just kind of gonna go wherever.
Yeah.
I guess.
Right.
But it's very handy Bloomington running a full schedule this year. Like,
yeah, it's good to see them actually be able to pull that
oh
off.
yeah,
I don't know how they're gonna Spiker. I really don't know the man, but he does a great job running these tracks, and how that man's got the time to keep 3 tracks. It is 3 he's going to be running this season, right?
Yeah.
So 3 tracks, that's going to take a lot of effort, and I'm sure they're going to pull it off. And hopefully they got a lot of support behind them, a lot of good help. I'm sure of that, because it'll take all that. But it's going to be good for the community as far as people in the area that like to go to Bloomington Speedway every Friday night. It's a good way to take your family out and have an entertaining night and not spend, a couple $100 trying to go do something.
A lot of guys got out racing because Bloomington wasn't really racing their classes and stuff. And there's just they didn't have enough time to travel. They get off work, on Friday,
right?
And then they couldn't make it to wherever on Saturday because they were working on Saturday.
Right? Yeah. And I can relate to that. I had that happen to me several times, and it gets very tough. So, who would you have to say is your biggest supporter?
That would be my dad.
Yeah.
Just any time I've wanted to put my hands on a steering wheel or something,
he's always been behind you.
Oh yeah, yeah. He turns the wrenches and he tells me when I screw up.
Right. Dads are always good about that, Yes.
They're not afraid to let you know when you screw up.
Yeah. My old man, he's constantly telling me what I should have done.
Yep.
And, it's always easy to watch after it's over, especially whenever there's footage of it. And you're like, well, yeah, that's pretty obvious watching it now.
I never like it when there's footage of it.
Yeah. Especially on a bad night,
Yeah.
You go out and you have a great night and nobody's got anything.
Yeah.
It's funny how that works. So who all's helping you guys out on keeping the cars going? I know you guys have several super stocks.
We currently have 4 cars.
Yeah.
And we're gonna try to be running all 4 this year.
Nice.
Chris Hillman, by far. I mean, he's like my left arm.
Right.
Because I don't have time to hardly do anything. Maybe change oil sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
That's about all time I got for that.
Maybe oil and wash day.
Yeah. Wash days I can do those too, but when it gets down to nitty gritty stuff, he's the man with the plan on that.
Right.
He just if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be where I'm at right now, competitive wise or even racing wise, because it wasn't that I was like part-time of a racer. It's just I didn't have time to do the hobby correctly,
Right.
And
it takes a lot of time.
It's a lot of time. It's a second full-time job.
That's right.
But him, my Uncle Gary, I don't know anybody that can tighten a lug nut down as tight as my uncle.
Uncle Gary.
Yeah.
Speaking of Uncle Gary, I had a conversation with him last night, and he knew you was coming down to the shop today for the interview, and he wanted to make sure and ask you who your favorite uncle was.
Yeah.
I told him I'd make sure and ask that question. He said, now, he might not answer it the way he's supposed to.
Yeah. No, that'd be him for sure.
Talking to him, I can tell how much passion he has for the sport and going with you guys. I know he used to do it when he was younger, and he's just like the rest of us. He likes to go and watch and be part of it. No matter if it's getting home at 3 or 4 in the morning, like most of us do some nights. And
he always shows up with a Mountain Dew and a king-size payday bar.
King-size payday bar. Maybe that's the trick. Maybe I need to get me a king-size payday bar. Gary's he's a good man.
Oh yeah.
So, how many hours of maintenance do you guys think you spend on each car per week?
That I don't
Tough
even
question.
know. Yeah. I mean,
Just I'm just trying to understand how you guys can take care of 4 cars.
probably I'd say about 3 to 4 hours a night. I will jack with something on my car, like
Mm-hmm.
I'll clean it off or grease it, just go over it, do a bolt check.
Right.
But I got to split that up over every night. So it might be 2 hours tonight or it might be 3 hours tomorrow night. Or if I got an early day, I might knock it all out in one day,
Right.
But I don't know how much time Chris puts on it because like I said, unfortunately, I don't get up there to his shop very much.
Right.
But I always call it the Canby compound.
Okay.
Yeah. So I don't get up to the old Canby compound very often.
Right.
But when I do, I spend a night or so.
Yeah.
A night or two.
Exactly.
So.
Well, I know talking with you, it sounds like he's got his shop completely full of trophies, and I know he's one heck of a wheel man. So having him, on your side with the racing, I'm sure it's a big help to you and your old man to be able to have somebody to rely on.
Oh yeah.
For hours spent on the cars and the support that he gives back. It's got to be a good thing to have him around and improving your game.
And he'll rub my number. He'll rub my number off the door just as much as anybody else.
I specifically remember one night at Bloomington, I was out there with you guys, and I think it might have been hot laps or it could have been a heat race. It was a heat race.
Yes. I see where you're going.
We go into 1 and 2, and then I'm thinking the race was over or something, and off of 3,
Yeah, I booted him off the track, but so that race I thought it was a white flag.
Yeah.
Because I just kind of, me and him were like right there on each other, and I thought it was a white flag, so I was really going gung ho it on that last lap just cause.
Right.
Well, it's checkered flag, and he was shutting down on the backstretch, and I punted him. Punted him off the track.
Boom! There went Hillman. I'm sitting back there like, wow, what I just watched.
I didn't really know what I just seen either.
Yeah.
But it happens.
Yeah, it does.
Didn't tear nothing up really. Cosmetic.
Right. Yeah. Well, that had to make for a good story when you guys got back down to the pits as far as
he still don't let me live it down.
Yeah. You probably won't anytime soon either.
No.
So looking back over all the years you've been running, what would you say is your most memorable race?
Most memorable race was probably the funnest race I've been in. I can't remember the date of it. It was at Bloomington, and I ended up running 3 wide with Jack Fry and Steve Hollers for I think a couple laps or something like that.
Right.
And that was a fun night. That track was like perfect, and the cars were all sticking in where they should be.
Right.
That's fun.
Well,
that's probably the best night.
Any night you get to run with Jack, back, I know he's retired now. He'll probably get that helmet back out of the closet sometime soon.
He's got to. I give him a hard time every time I see him.
Right. Anytime you get to run with him and, them guys, it's always a good time because, you can get as close as, 3 or 4 inches away and they're going to run you clean and run you hard.
Me and you've ran some pretty close ones.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, we've definitely had some good nights, and that's what it's all about. When you can go out there and have the respect for the guy you're running next to and run lap after lap, door to door, that's fun. I don't care if you're running 7th or 3rd or whatever.
Some of the funnest races I've had were when I was racing for 12th.
Yeah. I understand.
First year racing, run for 12th. I still remember them,
Right. Oh, yeah. So what would you say, looking back, that would have been one of the worst nights you've had? Whether it be a wreck or something, just didn't go the way you had planned.
The worst night is my first night.
Yeah.
So first night at Bloomington, which fun fact is that car is the car I'm currently racing, is my very first race car.
Okay.
I'm still running it. But anyways, that's the first time Hillman actually even seen me because I flew off turn 4 into the front stretch wall at Bloomington and put the right front tire probably within arm's length from where I was sitting.
So
I mean, it was hammered down. I just never lifted because I was in the air.
yeah,
Just brakes don't work in the air. I found out.
Yeah.
The steering shaft came out. Steering shaft came out and coming out forward. And by the time I could, I mean, it was all split second. And by the time I got on the brakes,
yeah, it was you were already airborne.
Yeah. So I let go of the steering wheel and just kind of held my hands near my belt. And
right.
I seen the wall coming. And I honestly did not know how hard that wall was going to hit. So
Right.
I knew it was going to be bad, but
yeah,
I couldn't walk for a couple days because my ankles were so swollen up. But after that, I mean, I do a little bit different check on the
bolt checks on the steering shaft, anyways.
Because I mean, that was my first night. Wouldn't have even thought about looking.
Right.
Rookie. That's a rookie mistake.
Well, everybody has them.
It's good
sometimes,
to learn something.
Yeah, sometimes they can be not so bad, but some cases they can be terrible. Well, who would you have to say? I got a feeling I know the answer to this one, but who's your favorite competitor?
Favorite competitor? I mean, Hillman, of course.
Right.
I like Ryan Hillman. He irritates me sometimes.
Yeah.
Pulls that Hillman move on me, and I mean, when he does that, there's nothing you can do. I mean, he just underneath you, he's out on the outside of you, and then the next thing you know, he's on the inside, and it's just pulling on you.
He's pulling old cold trickle.
Yeah.
Right.
But honestly, I mean, I like running against anybody that runs you clean. I mean, I can't even pick out one
It's a pretty
certain
good
racer.
list.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Because there's a lot of the guys run you clean. There's a few that don't.
Yeah.
But everybody has a bad night, I guess.
That's right. Everyone makes mistakes.
I just like racing. I mean.
Yeah. Exactly. You just want to go fast.
Yeah,
right?
just want to go fast.
So I know you've got a lot of wins. Do you have any idea how many?
I'd say probably somewhere around like 15.
Yeah.
Maybe.
That's pretty good.
So it took me a while to get those. I mean, it took me about 3 or 4 years to get comfortable with the car, really.
Right.
I mean,
takes a while to get enough seat time to build up that confidence in the seat.
Yep.
And everything pull together all at the right time. Yep. Seems like all the stars have to line up for those wins sometimes.
Hey, I tell everybody when they're getting in it, nobody was born a race car driver. So
right.
You get your seat time. It's how you learn. If you
right.
can learn it, you'll end up being fast. If you can't learn it, then there's always another class.
Right. That's right.
I mean.
That's right. So what would you say has been your biggest win?
Biggest win? I honestly don't know. I mean, they've all just kind of been. I don't have one that sticks out. You know, they're all
meant more to you than the other as far as if anyone.
They've all been hard fought. I mean, I haven't had any easy ones.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you win a half car length, you don't know that in your helmet.
Right.
I mean.
Yeah.
But no, I don't have any certain ones that stick out. I mean, like no special.
They were all good wins. So,
yeah, they're all good.
You take them all.
Yeah.
Right.
Everyone's a good win.
Yeah. So if here's one for you. Let's say you had all the money in the world. Money, wasn't even an issue as far as to pick what you was going to go out and race on a weekend, or whether it be all the way up to asphalt or sprint cars or late models. What would you pick to go out and just thrash, you know.
A trophy truck.
Trophy truck.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep, because I mean it's a mixture of motocross and
Well,
4
okay.
wheels.
So, you know, I've heard, I think Troy Clark talk about
Yeah.
trophy trucks before on something I had listened to.
Yep.
It was a podcast about Troy, and
I think he done that.
I think he did it out in Vegas, and I thought to myself, I don't know if I'd get in one with anybody else. I think I wouldn't mind driving one, but riding with someone.
I wouldn't get in one with Troy Clark.
Okay, well there you go. I was gonna say we could probably talk to Troy, see if we can get you guys set up to go to Vegas and do a test run.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, exactly. Well, what's your favorite racing movie?
Favorite racing movie? Probably be
That's one I threw in there.
Yeah.
Catch people off guard.
Was it Days of Thunder?
Days of Thunder.
I like the old NASCAR. That's when I don't really watch much NASCAR now, but like back when I was a little kid, I like watching that movie because I remember when the cars were actually like that.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that was a big one for me too. Growing up, Days of Thunder. If I had $1 for every time I watched that, I'd probably have enough to build a race car. Yeah. But Six Pack was always a good one. I thought
Pack's a good
Kenny
one.
Rogers and that.
My dad always watched westerns when I was growing up, so I'm more good, the bad, and the ugly.
Well, there you go.
Kind of stuff, so.
Yeah. So, what would you have to say your plans for 2020 as far as how many shows you guys are going to try to hit, or maybe a different track you plan to go to, or
2020 I'm gonna run, like I said, I'm gonna just kind of see how it goes. I only ran 5 or 6 races last year.
Okay.
And honestly, it's probably the most fun I've had racing wise per race because I wasn't tied into points or nothing like that.
Right.
So this year probably run Friday nights at Bloomington. Saturday nights, I'd like to hit all the tracks that run our class.
Yeah.
Just at least once, maybe twice. Probably try to go down there and knock the monkey off my back at Brownstown.
Right. So Brownstown's probably the track you'd have to say is probably the toughest for you as far as.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand it.
Right.
Like, I haven't had, and it's not the track. It's just the way things happen. Yeah, I mean.
Well, if it seems like you guys go down probably only a few times a year, though. Yeah. So I wouldn't put it off the back burner too much. You guys just probably need to try to go down there and get a hold of it.
My thing with Brownstown is that track, I could make it to the feature, and then I'm sure it'd rain us out. I mean, there's something about
got some voodoo stuff going on.
Yeah, there's some bad juju down there.
Yeah, it's a tough one. We've all been there, guys in this area and guys from far away. I mean, a lot of people run Brownstown, of course, and it seems like it's the one that most drivers feel like is the toughest.
I love the track. It's just like bad juju.
Right.
I mean, I think I'm gonna have to have some like little voodoo priest try to
put some oil on the car or something. There you go. Well, if you figure out what works, be sure and drop a bottle off here because we need to throw it all over the modified. Yeah, it can be quite a challenge, and it can get very discouraging going over and not getting the finish that you're after, and that's for any track. And the track promoters, they all do such a great job prepping the tracks, working on them all week, trying to give the racers the best surface they can. And the stuff that they catch sometimes, trying to get a show in after we've had rain and the drivers getting upset with the way the track is a lot of times. I know I've been to tracks where I should have loaded the car up and chose to race and regret that decision later.
Don't you love racing?
Yeah, it's going to happen, we're all guilty of getting on tracks whenever we complain after it's over, and it's like, I should have just pulled off on lap 2, got my start money, and called it a day. But you stay out there because that instinct is like, oh, I think I can get past this guy. I'll be able to get up one more spot.
You don't want to listen to your gut instinct sometimes.
You're right.
Well, most of the time, if you're
a lot of times you're looking at someone else to give you that, and they're like, well, it's your decision. You're the driver. I need somebody to yank me out of this.
Take me back home.
Right. Exactly. So we've kind of went through a lot of the questions pretty quick, actually. It looks like I need to get more questions for how quick me and you go through everything. But your dad, he ran for, I'm trying to think of how many years he raced. I know we've had this conversation before.
He ran before I was born, so I don't know. I'd say over the years he hasn't really ever went years and years and years, but he's done like 4-year spurts here, 4-year spurts there,
Yeah.
Just kind of been a mix.
Right.
But
so growing up around him doing it, and your Uncle Gary, did they ever race against one another that you know of?
Not when I was around, but they did.
I was just trying to get a poke in there at Gary one good time before we get off here today. I figured Steve probably spanked him out there on the track.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard stories, but I don't want to fan the fire.
Right. I understand.
Because Gary's my tire guy. So
okay. Yeah, you better leave the tire guy alone.
Yeah.
What's the favorite racetrack food?
Favorite racetrack food? I would say probably, I don't know, I like barbecue.
Barbecue.
I mean, even if it's crappy barbecue, it's barbecue.
It's barbecue.
And I like barbecue.
Right. There you go. So, who's going to be on board with the 84 Hawkins machine this 2020 race season as far as your sponsors go?
Well, I'm not very good at getting sponsors.
Yeah? Well, now's your shot.
Yeah.
Let's give a shout out.
If anybody wants to sponsor me, here I am.
Right. Takes a lot of money to make these cars go around and round, don't it?
It does. It takes
tires, fuel, maintenance.
Yes. It's a lot of
kind of damage.
A lot of work, a lot of behind-the-scenes work. But so my main sponsors are JC Fuel Systems right there.
Yep.
Oh, Jimmy Cooper.
Oh, yeah. He's a heck of a nice guy. I met him last summer, actually.
He's a good dude. Whenever we got a problem or whatever, I can call him up at the track. And if he's not at the track, if he's close by the track, he'll swing by the track.
Right.
I mean, if he's within driving distance,
he's there.
Yeah, he's there. Carol Damon at Capital Realty in Bloomington. Hawkins Towing, of course.
Right.
It's a main sponsor.
Got to give a big shout out to Hawkins Towing.
Yeah.
We see them trucks rolling all over Bloomington. Sometimes further away, of course. You guys get out in the back roads. I know I see you guys constantly. I'm texting one of you or calling one of you. I know we've been sitting on Walnut or 3rd Street or something. I'm laying on the horn.
Every once in a while, you'll see it with a race car on the back.
Yeah.
That's go fast mode.
Right. That's hey, get out of the way. We're taking these out here to Hillman so he can get them ready for this weekend.
Yep. Taking them to the masseuse.
Right.
But then I got Bradley Seymour at Schaefer Racing Oil. He not really a sponsor, but he helps us out.
Okay.
Got Jay Neal out at BSP Racing Shocks. Yet again, not a sponsor, but they take care of you. As much as them guys help me out,
you're going to put their name on the car. I mean, that's right. That's what the guys got to do.
They're like the team behind the team.
Right.
So I don't mind it. They provide service. So, I mean, I'm in the service industry, so I understand.
That's right.
But they work with you. Heck, Jay, my sister lives out in Oklahoma, so if we got a shock problem, my dad will run out there, and BSB is like 30 miles from my sister's house. Is that right? Yeah. So wow. He'll go out there, drop the shock off, pick it up the next day.
Is that right?
And I mean, if I've got four shocks that need rebuilt or looked over or whatever, Dad can run over there and come back, and within 3 days I got 4 brand new shocks.
Well, there you go.
So, I mean,
it's kind of a no-brainer.
Yeah, I mean, it gets you in and out,
Well, and he probably gets a chance to stop and see your sister.
Yeah.
So that makes it nice for him.
So 30 miles, Kansas and Oklahoma.
Right.
So it works out
That's
good.
wild, ain't it?
Yeah, it works out good.
Well, that's good.
Really, Paragon Liquor Store. That's one of.
Yeah.
So me and Hillman, like, we've got. I don't really know. I don't think I'm naming it all the sponsors that are on the car, because Hillman's got his sponsors
that kind of carry along with the Hawkins racing.
Yeah, so they're on Hillman's side, and then I got mine. I can't remember.
Right. Well, it's tough.
It is.
We all get guilty of that at times. You get 10 or 15 on the car, it can get hard to remember them all.
Chris just like, here's a sticker.
Yeah. Put this on the car.
Yeah.
Somebody's helping us out.
Yeah.
And it does. It takes a lot of help, whether it's your guys in the shop putting the time in on the car or at the track. The guys, like you said, behind the scenes, trying to make it all happen. And the fans that are out there that are diehard, they're every weekend watching, and
Man, if it wasn't for them, I mean, why would there be racetracks?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, it's not for us.
Yeah.
It's for the fans.
It is. It takes so much hard work, effort, money. And the time is the biggest part. Most of the time. It's time, getting everything ready and getting it to the track.
Tons of time.
You watch the fans, they're driving to the track, same as the drivers in these conditions where it's going to rain.
Yeah.
And you're looking at the clouds and you're like, why are we even going to the track? But you find yourself driving on in there anyways, thinking maybe they'll get it in. And the people that go and they're that diehard to watch a show, they'll sit in their vehicles and wait it out, and then go sit on them wet bleachers, or be prepared enough to have a trash bag to sit on.
I mean, heck, I went to World 100 last year, and I mean, just to watch and everything, and
right.
Didn't go over there with anybody, for racing wise to help them or nothing like that. But I talked to people from Hawaii and Germany. Like, I mean, dirt tracking's big, but it's not. It wouldn't be that big without people actually wanting to come and watch it.
Right. Exactly.
And I'm not knocking asphalt, but you ain't gonna get that kind of excitement on asphalt.
That's right. And I think people are starting to see that more now, and more, these days. It seems like, the social media side of things, everybody's, going to the Chili Bowl and over to, the Dome. I mean, that's gotten huge. I think they've ran, has it been 4 years now? That's really brought in a lot of fans, which is great because it's dirt in December. So there's not a lot going on in December with dirt racing.
Yep.
So it's definitely neat to see all that going on, to where the fans still can keep their rush going.
A lot of the NASCAR guys are coming in modified class.
Right.
I mean, look at how much more advanced the modified class is in the last 6 years since they started kind of coming in a little more.
Mm-hmm.
So all they've done is like pump that class up, which a lot of people don't like that, but I mean, they haven't done nothing but help dirt tracking, because I mean, they're making the cars stupid fast.
Exactly. Yeah, it's crazy how quick everything's gotten. I know I went down to Hobstadt 3 or 4 years ago to watch a sprint car race. I was just sitting there trying to gather my thoughts on how these things have gotten so quick. And they're still able to keep them planted to the ground when they're not riding wheel stands all the way down the front straightaways. But it's impressive how much technology has changed. Everything has really changed a lot.
You put a super stock by a modified. Super stock's what a modified used to be.
Right.
So that's how much of a gain it's happened over the years. So.
Right. Well, I was talking to Grandpa. This has been back last summer, and we were just talking about how much stuff's changed. And he
yeah.
goes, well, you're not telling me nothing. Yeah. I'm like, well, of course, he's been doing it that many years. But he was telling me how he used to actually transport his race car to the track using some sort of a tow bar from a car. Dang. It was just a car he was driving. Like, I think it was like a 50-something Chevy, pulling his race car with just a bar.
That's wild.
I was like, wow, that's nuts. But he started telling me stories, and I was like, okay, I probably don't have much to talk about as far as changes go in my lifetime, because the things he's seen and all the years he's been racing, I can't imagine what goes on in his brain when he pulls up to the track and sees all them toter homes and the lifts nowadays.
They're used to wedge trucks. And
yeah, exactly.
People driving their race car to the track because their truck broke down.
Right. Yeah. I think Scott Bloomquist did that just last summer or the summer before. I seen something on Facebook.
Yeah, he's driving down the interstate or something.
I think that big rig he bought broke down again. I think he was having quite a bit of trouble with it. I was like, that would definitely draw some attention.
Oh, yeah.
I know we've had our share of troubles breaking down along the way, and one thing I will say good about the sport is the help you get from other drivers, whether it be you're breaking down on the way to the track and someone's stopping, hey, we got so-and-so coming, they can bring a truck, and that's always the best part about this sport is the family, as far as, how much everybody's always trying to help one another. Pretty well everybody knows if they come down to my trailer and ask for something, if I've got it, they're going to be using it, and that's just like anybody else at the track. There's no one I can think of that wouldn't help you when you need something.
It kind of reminds me of Jimmy going in the wrong trailer.
Yeah, that was funny.
Same looking trailer though.
Yeah, you can't blame him. You guys were parked right there next to us. I kept thinking, I wonder who that is in the trailer. And once I realized what was going on, it was funny. Of course, he was real apologetic.
Oh yeah.
I was like, oh, you get whatever you need out there. I don't care what it is. If we've got something you guys need, take it. Yeah, he's a nice guy. That was a funny moment there. I think Gary was there that night as well.
Yeah.
I'm sure he was over there eating his king size payday.
Probably.
Right.
He goes off in hiding and eats that. I don't know what that's all
Maybe
about.
that's got something to do with the night you win.
Yeah.
It's got something to do with that payday bar.
I don't think he's been with me now I think about it down to Brownstown. So
okay.
Maybe he might
he's the good luck charm.
He might be my 6'7" good luck charm.
Right. Well, you heard that, Gary. You're going to have to make your way down to Brownstown this summer, 2020.
Yes.
Let's see if Steve can't get him a win. So if anybody did want to reach out to you for sponsors for 2020, or is it best to contact you via Facebook? Or
well, kind of. I mean, I'm pretty hard on my messenger. Like, that thing's like a purgatory. Like, I've got so many unread messages.
Right.
That thing.
So probably just get a hold of the shop.
Just get a hold of the shop. Hawkins Towing, 812-327-8305. Or at the racetrack. I mean, I'm not like pressuring anybody, If you want help, you want help.
Right.
I'll put you on the car. It's pretty.
Exactly.
I don't have time to write up a big booklet of everything, but I will get their name out there.
There you go. Well, I know you're always a treat on Facebook with your videos, and what you guys do each and every day out there for a living is it's a dangerous career, and you guys put your lives on that white line day in, day out.
Yep.
And we all sometimes take things for granted, and big man upstairs is always looking out for each and every one of us, whether it's at your career working on that white line or at the track. And it's definitely one of them professions that you guys have that I always look at cops and people that do like a nurse or a doctor. It's insane.
I think people not to veer off subject or nothing, but
not to get away from racing, but we're going to get away from racing for a minute.
I think people go over, I think all this slow down, move over stuff that people aren't doing. I think they're just oblivious to it, I mean, when you're driving down the road and you're on your phone, you're not
Paying attention.
You're just not paying attention.
That's right.
I mean,
all it takes is that one
it.
glance down to look at a text or an email or whatever.
Everybody does it too.
Yep.
I mean, it's an accident, you know.
Yeah.
They're not meaning to run off the road and hit you. So I mean, it's an accident, but it's an avoidable accident.
That's right.
So
so pay attention out there, folks.
But yeah, if anybody's interested, I'm pretty easy to find in the pits.
Right. That's right. Yeah, it's always easy to see your guys' cars. They always look good rolling in, and you guys do a good job out there. We definitely look forward to seeing what 2020 season brings for you guys, and definitely appreciate your guys' time, your dad and yourself, because I know he's out there right now hooking and booking.
Yeah,
right.
He took one for a team today, which,
right.
you know, I might take my time on the scenic view
back.
back.
Right. Well, the sun's still up a little bit, so you'll be able to enjoy your drive home and let Dad get a few more hooks in before the night's over.
Yeah. If it was, if it was a little warmer, I would probably brought a fishing pole.
Yeah, there you go. Could have went down and caught some bluegill or crappie down at the lake right there.
Whoops, my phone shut off.
Yeah. No, I didn't get your message, Dad.
Yeah.
I was still at the shop.
Yep.
Right. Well, Steve, I thank you for coming down today, and this concludes this episode of Off the Track. We are glad everyone was able to join in and watch this evening. If you haven't already liked us on Facebook, please be sure and like us. You can always visit our website at bluechiptech.net. You can also give us a call at 807-7050 for any engine needs. We appreciate everyone watching tonight. Take care.